Hi, welcome again at your service in Curris. This is not a regular message and not even a meeting time. Something has come up in my life which has inspired me to speak, and I don't know really what I'm going to talk about. All I know is that I have been a little bit upset about being treated fairly poorly as a human being. Not that I was treated meanly, not that I was treated as subhuman or in a harsh way or anything like that. All I'm saying is no one considered what I wanted in my best interests. You see, what I'm talking about is doctors and how they don't care what I want with my medical conditions, etc. They just want to be in control and do their job, and who cares about the patient? They are selfish and inconsiderate. But these are just normal human natures. We as humans are primarily selfish. We want to put ourselves first in everything. It's what's easy for me, what's convenient for me, what works for me, what I feel good about, me. And that's certainly not Christian, but I find it very, very, very difficult to find any Christians in this world. Any people in this world that are willing to put God first. Because just about everyone I know, more than 95% of people, probably 99% of people, seem to want to put themselves first in some way or another. Even the people that go to church and call themselves Christians. But what I'm talking about here isn't even Christians. I'm talking about doctors, because it's the doctors that and their staff that have brought this up. You see, it started with my regular GP, who sent me to see a cardiologist. Now, I used to live in a place that is an hour away from where I now live, public transport wise anyway. And I still go to the same doctor, because even a close doctor would be half an hour in public transport. And it's inconvenient to change, as in I certainly was never looking at living here permanently anyway. But permanency is one thing that seems to be coming about. And that's not the point that I'm talking about here. My doctor, being in that suburb, organised for me to go to a cardiologist, a heart specialist. And he chose one in that same suburb. I asked if I could get one nearer to me. He said, "Oh, there are none nearer to you." But he's thinking about himself. He's thinking, I don't want to go through the difficulty of trying to find a cardiologist or a heart doctor that is near you. I just want to write what I already know down, which was basically what he was doing, saying, well, that's too inconvenient for me. I just want convenience. I don't care about what you want or need as a patient. I don't care about the extra time, trouble, stress, and everything else that it'll put on your life. So I'm going to send you to the cardiologist I send everyone to, who firstly only works 2 days a week, 2 mornings a week. They don't even work afternoons. So they're only working about a 10-hour week. And they're booked for over a month because they don't have many appointments to see people. Great. I've started the appointments with this other cardio doctor, and I made an appointment when I was there about a week ago, and I asked if I could make an appointment on Wednesday, and they said, okay, we'll make an appointment for you. And I said, well, I need it to be in the afternoon, as late as possible, because I'm busy on Wednesday mornings, and it will take me to at least a minimum of 12 to get there. And they said, we can get you a 12 o'clock appointment, but on the whatever date of April, and it's March, the first, it's the 9th of March today. Anyway. So, they suggested an appointment on something like the 24th, 25th of April or something like that. And it's like, okay, fine, as long as it's a Wednesday afternoon, at 12:30. It's like, oh no, we can't do a 12:30 until the 8th of May. And it's like, fine, okay, I'll go for the 8th of May then. It's only another couple of weeks. Anyway, it's now a couple of days later, and I've just picked up the appointment card to schedule the date and time onto my calendar. And I just looked at the calendar, and this is a Friday. Fridays are incredibly inconvenient for me. Wednesdays, I'm already going out into the public. I'm already on public transport, etc. So it's not so inconvenient to go to medical appointments, etc. Whereas any other day, I'm not setting aside for medical appointments, shopping, and so on. So that's now taken a day that is very inconvenient and annoying somewhat to me to have to do this on a Friday, etc. And what annoys me more is the fact that I'm going to this very limited cardiologist, almost as if they're the only cardiologist in the country, because my doctor just doesn't care. Do I get a new doctor? Nah. I don't know if I've ever found... Well, I have found a couple of doctors in my time that care, but most of them are many hours travel away. I would have to drive for 2.5 hours myself to get to the nearest one that I actually know that cares a little. Maybe in my regional city, which is only about a 1.5 hours journey, but for a regular GP, I'm not going to travel that far. And besides, it's just taken my trust in doctors to a lower place. But it's more than my trust in doctors. It's my trust in humanity. People. People are the problem. Doctors are just people. They're just, oh, well, whatever works for me, I'll push you into this area. I'll push you into that area. I'll push you around because I'm the doctor. I'll push you around because I'm the cop. I'll push you around because I'm the local member of government. I'll push you around because I'm the teacher. I'll push you around because I'm the chef at the restaurant and I'll make the meal the way I think you should eat it, not the way you've requested it. People just want to be in control, run things at their convenience, and think of themselves first. That's what it comes down to. Me. What works for me? What do I want? And that's where they're coming from. So how does this relate to me, you, God? God. God calls a humble people that will put God first. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your might, and love your neighbour as yourself. If you want the best for yourself, you should also want them to have the best for them. Don't prioritise yourself and your own ego and your own pride and your own me over them. Because it's the same pride, the same ego, the same me, self. The self that rules your heart is also the same self that keeps God away. You're pushing God down when you're pushing yourself up. Oh, I'm important. Oh, I want. Oh, that hurt me. Oh, I want friends. Oh, I want compassion. Oh, I want. It makes me so sad that this world is run by I want. And even those that are not so selfish, so I want, me orientated, may also have other problems of being legalistic. Well, you've got to do it this way. Why? Why do we have to do it that way? Oh, because the law in the Bible says you've got to do it that way, or the government's law says you've got to do it that way, or whatever it might be. Sure, we're to abide by the law as far as governments are concerned, and we are to abide by the law somewhat as far as the Bible is concerned, but not necessarily the legalistic Hebrew law, because if we look at all the letters of Paul, Paul spoke of Christianity as being higher than the law. Not, I can do whatever I want, but I so want God to rule and get everything that I'm going to be better than the law. I'm going to have love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, gentleness, self-control, kindness, mercy, everything that the law doesn't say you have to have. The law just says, don't do this, don't do that. And we're supposed to be even greater than that. Not only the don't do's, but the have, the do. Yet Paul also said that we can't try and put the Gentiles under the law, because then they would be subjecting themselves to Judaism rather than Christianity. The Jewish parts of the law. I mean, sure, things like the Ten Commandments are pretty much for everyone. Don't kill, don't lie, don't cheat or steal, etc. Yeah, take that for granted. But the Jewish law says things like, don't wear something of two different materials. Okay, there's cotton in this, and there's polyester and cotton, and polyester's two different materials, multiple materials anyway. Poly means multiple. Polyester, made from different materials. I'm breaking Jewish law by wearing this. But I'm a Christian, it's just a shirt, it doesn't matter. Don't plant two types of crop in the same field. Jewish law. But my veggie garden, if I had a veggie garden, I used to, had potatoes and lettuce and many different things in it. It was a veggie garden. Jews, under their law, are not allowed to have veggie gardens. What the? That's Jewish law. And Paul said that we're not under the law, as in we don't strive to live by those standards. No, our standards are already higher anyway, because the things that they're trying to stop people doing are irrelevant when you've got love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, gentleness, kindness, joy, self-control, faithfulness, etc. Which do you want? Do you want God? Do you want peace? Do you want Jesus in your life and have all those good things? Or do you want to live under Jewish law? There's a third option. Do you want to rule yourself? You are God. Me. It's all about me. It's what I want. Even if I choose to live under Jewish law or whatever it might be, it's still about me working my way to heaven by being under the law. And legalistic. What the? Think about it. Think about your life. Where are you at? I know that most people don't really see the freedom of God by having all those attributes. And not having to submit to every little itty bitty letter of the Old Testament law. Because no man can possibly do that anyway. It was a law that leads us to Jesus. It was fulfilled by Jesus, so we can live better than that law and not concern ourselves being legalistic. Who were legalistic in Jesus' time? The Pharisees, the Sadducees, the scribes. What did Jesus think of those legalistic people? Bunch of hypocrites? Yeah. So what do you want? What do you want to be? A legalistic hypocrite? Do you want to have yourself as the ruling force in your life? Do you want everything for your convenience and your happiness and you? Or do you want a fantastic relationship with God that will give you a humble and yes, subservient relationship with people? But when I say subservient, we are doulos, a slave of Christ. That's subservient. But you must remember also, some slaves were treated incredibly well. Some slaves had it better than their masters. In the Roman days, they had gladiators, and gladiators were slaves. But the richest women in the country would pay massive amounts of money to sleep with a gladiator. A slave being treated as nearly a god. In the south of America, of the USA anyway, North America, southern half of North America, the slave owners had butlers, and a butler would be dressed in a suit and a very good job, but they're still a slave. They might not be out in the fields cutting the cotton, but they're still a slave. The word slave doesn't mean cast down, distraught, worthless, but it does mean subservient. It does mean you're not the master. You're not in control. But who is? God. And what does God say about me treating other people? How do I treat them? Well, I'm here to serve because God says serve them, and in many different ways. And God says love your neighbour as yourself. Well, that's not the person on this side of the house and the person on that side of the property. And that's it. That's all. Well, the neighbour might be the person on the other side of the road as well. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, the neighbour might be somebody at the end of the street. It's still a neighbourhood. Somebody in the suburb. That's still a neighbourhood. Well, hang on. We're not talking about two people anymore. We're talking about many thousands of different kinds of people. Your neighbour. Some of those neighbours are criminals. Some of those neighbours are nice people. Some of those neighbours, you might find even a couple of Christians. Might. Christians are very hard to find. Who isn't ruling their life? Who isn't putting themselves first? Who isn't concerned about what they have or what they're going to get? But they're so much more concerned about what God wants from them. I'm not there yet. I'm not perfect. But I want to head in the direction of being subservient to God, which means I don't matter. There's only, as I've said before, enough room in your heart for either God or you. You can't put both of... Your heart is not big enough to fit both you and God. So who's going to be in there? You or God? I'm going to try and squeeze God in there as much as I can, not me. Does that make me wonderful? No. Because I haven't got it right. Not yet. But I'll spend the rest of my life trying to get it right. Trying to learn how to submit to God even more. Trying to learn how to spread God to everyone around me. Being nice to people's okay. But God doesn't call you to be nice and leave it there. God calls people to show God to everyone else around them. Do you do that? I don't do it enough. Okay. So, I'll wrap up here. If you want God in your life, there's a lot to think about. Who's ruling your life now? You or God? Come on. Okay. That'll do. If you like this message, post it on. Rate it out of 10. Contact us and let us know where you're at. We are here to help people discover God, learn more about God, get a good relationship with God, find their calling, train in their calling, launch their calling, and put a community of believers around them to support them during that entire process. Wherever you're at, we can help you advance more in that. And I'd like you to contact us and tell us where you're at and where you'd like to go in God so that we can help you get there. And if you don't know what your call is, we'll help you find it. So anyway, contact us. The details, as always, are below. Bless you. Govern well in Charis.